Bitcoin is one of the best performing assets over the last decade, and now there are more institutional products that are starting to show up. Around the world, various asset managers have rushed to the public markets to try to help institutions, foundations, endowments, pension funds, and others get access to digital sound money. Now, of course, as these various vehicles come to market, regulators who oversee the public markets, they want to have a say over what actually gets approved and what doesn't. In the United States, we already have a Bitcoin futures ETF. And now, today will be the first day where a Bitcoin short futures ETF begins to trade. Now, this Bitcoin short futures ETF comes from ProShares, one of the companies that also has the Bitcoin futures ETF. And what's so interesting about this, if you ask the CEO of ProShares, is he said, as recent times have shown, Bitcoin can drop in value. BITI affords investors who believe that the price of Bitcoin will drop with an opportunity to potentially profit or to hedge their cryptocurrency holdings. BITI enables investors to conveniently obtain short exposure to Bitcoin through buying an ETF in a traditional brokerage account. Now, of course, there are a lot of folks who will say, if you're allowed to go long Bitcoin in an institutional manner in the public market, of course, it makes sense to also approve and allow investors to go short that same asset. But as Will Clemente pointed out, in the United States today, we've got a short Bitcoin ETF, a futures ETF, a closed-end fund trading at a 30% plus discount, a 401k option for Bitcoin, but still there is no spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, Will claims that Gary Gensler and the SEC have an agenda against Bitcoin. I don't necessarily agree that they have some sort of agenda, but I do think that it's very rational to ask the question, if we're going to allow all these other vehicles, like the futures ETF, the short ETF, GBTC, 401k options, and many other institutional-oriented vehicles, why do we not have a Bitcoin spot ETF yet? That's a question that regulators are going ahead. They're debating. They're trying to figure out whether they will approve it or not. Ultimately, GBTC, which has thousands of different investors, is trading at a 35% discount in the moment. And given its size, that is a material amount of money. It's billions of dollars that investors will recover if all of a sudden they're allowed to convert GBTC into a Bitcoin spot ETF and allow that redemption functionality to enter into the market and have the discount turn back and be more even with NAV. Ultimately, a Bitcoin spot ETF will get approved in the United States, in my opinion. I don't know when it's going to happen, and neither do most market participants. But I think that the chorus is getting louder, and people are saying, if all these other vehicles are allowed, why can't we have the Bitcoin spot ETF?
Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.